Hey guys, and welcome back. So today I'm gonna do a quick little review on these new polish that I just got at the store, and I thought they'd be a beautiful way to test from the cheapest to the most expensive on my press-on nails that I have on. We'll apply it by each finger and I'll tell you which brand actually hold up to the test and which one will last the longest. Again, we're going from the cheapest to the most expensive one. So let's get started. And by the way, you guys, if my eyelashes are distracting you, I know they're crooked, they're off. I'm demoing a bunch of different eyelashes and I'm just getting the hang of it, and if they're distracting, please ignore it. Okay guys, so here's all the brand. We got Wet n Wild that I got for literally $1.99. With the coupon, I got it for 99 cents. We got Sally Hansen. I've never used this one before. We got this other brand. I just love this color because I've tried their light color and it was actually really good. And then we got Your Red Alarm. My mom likes this one. I've never worn this one before. Excited again to see. OPI has always been my go brand and they've never failed me. So it's kind of exciting to just see from the lowest to the high end which one's gonna hold up to the test. Okay guys, so I'm gonna paint my thumb and we're gonna go from the Wet n Wild first because that was the cheapest one. Okay, one thing that I noticed right away is that the brush is really big. It's like the size of my nail bed. So let's just apply it on and see the color. Does it come on beautiful? So far, so good. It's actually really creamy and thick. The one thing I would say is that I don't care for the brush. The brush is just a little bit too thick. So if you have a small nail bed, this is really gonna suck. Again, I'm putting this on my press-on nails, which is a little bit wider on the nail bed. So it's going on pretty smooth, but if this was my natural nail, I think it could be really hard. But beautiful color though. So that's what that looks like on first coat. Now we're gonna go to the Sally Hansen. I like the size of this brush. It's actually a really good size to apply, especially if you have a small nail bed or if you're working, for example, on your toenails. It just seems to be easy. Very beautiful pigment. Wow, it's really creamy too. Okay. So that's what that looks like. So if you could kind of see, so far, Sally Hansen is holding up pretty darn good. Now we're gonna go into the Red Alarm, is the next one. So with this one, I noticed that the brush is very watery. I'm sorry, so what I noticed right away with this one is that the brush is really small. The polish is really watery. And you can see it when I apply on the nail bed, it's really watery. So far, I really don't like this one. Red Alarm was just too watery. Now this one, Epsi, is that how you said? I might be saying it wrong, so I apologize. This one, I wore a lot of their other nude color and I love it. It stays on. Here's an example. It stays on really well. But for some reason, this dark color seems to be really watery. The brush is really easy to control. It is one of the shorter one out of all the polish that I just put on. It's also a little bit darker than all of them and a little bit more watery. But pigment is pretty darn good. But as you can see, that's the first coat and it is one of the darkest one. Now going off to our last one is gonna be the OPI. I've always used OPI for my toenails at the salon and it works really well. Standard brush. I mean, honestly, OPI's brush is kind of big also if you have a really small nail bed. So let's just see. A little watery. It is a little bit lighter compared to all the color. See what I mean? The brush, when they make the brush too big, it's really hard to control when you're painting. So here's all the polish on my finger, going from the cheapest, which is from my thumb, all the way to OPI, which was the most expensive. And one thing I'm gonna tell you guys, all 5 nail polish turned out really beautifully. The only one that disappointed me the most, honestly, was Red Alarm, because for this price, Wet n Wild literally beat it to the punchline. Like, it was easy to apply on, it was nice and thick, lots of pigment. The only thing I didn't care for the Wet n Wild was the brush, but again, it's $1.99 and often there's coupon or 40% off. You could get it for like about $1.29. For that nail polish, honestly, that won my best rate for pricing and the quality of it. But for the most beautiful application and the stay on, I'm gonna have to say OPI. Again, this was about $10, so big price difference. So if you're just wanting something that is more low cost, Wet n Wild won't disappoint you. What I would recommend is get a nice top coat, because that's gonna make your life a little bit easier at the end to finish it off. It's gonna give it a beautiful shine. And also, if you get the right top coat like this one, it not only give you a nice shine, but it's also gonna dry a lot quicker. So I'm gonna finish wearing this and I'll tell you guys after a couple weeks how long the polish actually stays on and if it even hold up to the test.